Can the US government actually take away your American citizenship decades after you've earned it? Most people believe that once you take the oath of allegiance and receive your certificate of naturalization, your US citizenship is permanently secured. But a major legal case unraveling right now in Kansas shows that under federal immigration law, citizenship is not always final, especially if the government alleges it was built on a false foundation. Welcome back. In today's video, we're breaking down a high-stakes legal case filed by the U.S. Department of Justice against an Indian-born man living in Olathe, Kansas. Federal authorities are officially moving to revoke his citizenship, alleging he used a completely false identity to bypass a deportation order and fraudulently gain his green card and naturalization. We'll walk through the entire timeline, how federal immigration systems track down identity fraud, what the Immigration and Nationality Act says about denaturalization, and why the Department of Justice is significantly increasing these civil citizenship revocations today. Stick around to see how a case spanning over 30 years caught up with a naturalized citizen. Let's start from the beginning of this remarkable 3-decade legal paper trail. According to federal court filings from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Kansas, U.S. immigration authorities first encountered the defendant at JFK International Airport in New York back in 1991. At that time, he presented himself under the name Rushpal Singh. Immigration proceedings were initiated, and in August 1995, an immigration judge officially issued a deportation order against him. Rushpal Singh appealed that decision, but the Board of Immigration Appeals upheld the deportation ruling. However, federal authorities state that they have absolutely no record that he ever left the United States pursuant to that order. Instead, the government alleges that in June 1996, just months after his deportation order was confirmed, he created a completely new identity. He submitted a new immigration application, or Harinder Singh Sanghera. To make the new identity hold up, federal prosecutors claim he altered key personal markers. He allegedly changed his date of birth, his date of entry in the United States, and the underlying factual basis for an entire immigration claim. Because the system at that time did not link his old deportation file under Rushpal Singh to his new application under Harinder Singh, the Immigration and Naturalization Service, now known as uscis, approved his initial paperwork. Fast forward to October 2000, when Harinder Singh was officially granted lawful permanent resident status, commonly known as a green card. 8 years later, in 2008, he took the final step in the immigration journey. He submitted Form N-400, the application for naturalization, under the identity and immigration history of Harinder Singh. During the citizenship interview and application process, applicants are required to disclose all prior names used, past interactions with immigration authorities, and any history of deportation or exclusion. The government alleges he failed to disclose his true identity, his previous deportation order, and his complete immigration history under the name Rushpal Singh. As a result, his application was approved, he took the oath of allegiance, and became a naturalized U.S. citizen. Now, let's add some broader context in how the legal process of denaturalization actually works under U.S. law, because taking away citizenship is considered one of the most severe remedies in the entire federal judicial system. Unlike native-born citizens, whose citizenship is constitutionally protected under the 14th Amendment, naturalized citizens can face citizenship revocation under Section 340A of the Immigration and Nationality Act. The statute outlines two primary grounds for revoking naturalization. The first ground is illegal procurement. This means the person was legally ineligible for citizenship at the time it was granted. For example, if someone had a prior unexecuted deportation order or lacked good moral character due to fraud, they were never legally eligible to naturalize in the first place. The second ground is the concealment of a material fact or willful misrepresentation. To win on these grounds, federal prosecutors must establish 4 key elements to prove narrative fact. First, the individual misrepresented or concealed a fact. Second, the misrepresentation was willful, meaning it was intentional rather than an honest mistake. Third, the fact was material, meaning it was relevant and would have influenced the decision to grant citizenship. And fourth, the individual procured citizenship as a direct result of that deception. In civil denaturalization proceedings, the government faces a heavy burden of proof. They must present clear, convincing, and unequivocal evidence to a federal judge. There's also no statute of limitations for civil denaturalization, which means the DOJ can initiate a lawsuit whether the fraud occurred 5 years ago or 30 years ago. Now, what happens if the federal court rules in favor of the government in this Kansas civil action? If the court issues an order revoking Harinder Singh's citizenship, his certificate of naturalization will be formally cancelled, and legally he will be restored to the status he had prior to naturalization. However, because his underlying lawful permanent resident status was also obtained under the same alleged identity, that green card becomes invalid as well. This leaves the individual without legal status in the United States. Furthermore, the pre-existing 1995 deportation order can be reinstated, immediately placing him in line for removal from the country. Additionally, derivative citizenship rights can be effective. If family members or spouses obtain green cards or citizenship based on his naturalized status, their legal standing could also face severe scrutiny or revocation under federal law. This case is part of a broader trend. The U.S. Department of Justice has significantly ramped up civil denaturalization complaints using modernized data matching, digitizing old paper records, and cross-referencing biometric databases across legacy INS and uscis systems to uncover historic identity fraud. This case highlights how strictly federal immigration authorities enforce background history and truthfulness during the naturalization process. Even after decades of living as a naturalized citizen, material omissions or false identities on immigration records can lead to civil enforcement in federal court. Please note that this content is provided strictly for educational and informational purposes only. Immigration news, denaturalization defense, and federal court proceedings are extraordinarily complex and dynamic. If you or someone you know has questions or concerns regarding complex immigration histories, denaturalization applications, or federal notices, please consult with a qualified and experienced legal expert or immigration lawyer. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to hit that like button, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe for more deep dives into law and current events. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.